Coming up next on this edition of In the City, find out why a city program is helping increase native plants in Rutherford County. Also, PAWS of Rutherford County is providing free vaccines for your pets. Plus, MTSU Geosciences Department scans Evergreen Cemetery for possible unmarked graves. And Fire Rescue Department trains newly hired recruits from Murfreesboro and surrounding cities. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Michael Linn White. There are many benefits to planting native plants. That's why one city department is helping residents learn how to incorporate indigenous plants through a great program.
The Murfreesboro Indigenous Plant Project is an initiative of the Parks and Recreation's Outdoor Murfreesboro Division to promote the use of native plants in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County.
The project itself is our attempt to provide local native plants. I think the biggest challenge is knowing what to use, what's appropriate for our area, and also finding them at a reasonable price. It's one of the easiest things you can do for the environment is planting native plants, and we hope to be able to provide those.
We asked why native plants are so much better for the environment.
These plants they've grown up here for millions of years, and the animals that they support have grown along with them. And so, for instance, I think one of our most famous examples that we use is the monarch caterpillar. The caterpillar itself is very specialized. It can only utilize the nutrients from specific kinds of plants. And as those plants disappear, the caterpillars disappear. And when you remove such an important part of the energy web from that system, other things feel that, like birds eat caterpillars when they're young. And so removing those plants that the caterpillars need is really detrimental.
One of the programs Outdoor Murfreesboro is proud of is where they take seeds from wild native populations and grow their own plants to provide for park installations and to the public from their nursery.
And we've been able to provide at least more than half of our plants are from those collected seeds. And that ensures regional genetic integrity. And that means the genetic makeup of these plants are appropriate for this area. They've grown up in this area. So, they're adapted to our weird weather and those things. So it means that they'll be healthier and happier.
Kristen talks about a couple planting projects that she's proud of.
We've recently installed a bunch of the native plants that we've grown. Almost 200 plants were installed at Murphy Springs along the riparian bank there. We spent 2 growing seasons working on getting the invasives out, the invasive plants that were there. It was like 90% invasives along that bank. So that's a really cool project that's been in the works for a while. And then we've put in a pollinator plot at Old Fort Park that's in its first growing season. So we spent two seasons preparing the ground, getting out as much bad stuff as we could. Then we seeded it earlier this year, and it's grown up really well this year, and we're going to continue to manage for that. And the diversity in that pollinator plot will just continue to grow.
Murfreesboro Outdoor has 2 plant sales per year, spring and fall, but if you're lucky, you can catch them when they have a free plant giveaway, like they did recently.
They're all 3-gallon trees and shrubs. They need a home, and so we're giving them away for free, and they're all native to the area. We've got several kinds of oaks, some tulip poplars, some sycamores, some of the plants that you would find in our area. We know our plants fairly well, and so we know what kind of habitat they would normally grow in. So if there's an area in your yard that you need help with identifying a good plant for that spot, then we can certainly help you with that. I've had people recommend our program to other people in the community, and so I've had a few meetings with some folks in the library system who want to put a pollinator patch in their building's area, and I have a meeting soon with a school who wants to do an outdoor classroom and wants to install native plants for those. So that's really satisfying to me, is when people hear about our program through the grapevine and they contact me and they want to do something good like that, and I love being able to provide those plants and that service for them.
PAWS of Rutherford County wants to help keep your fur babies healthy by providing free pet vaccines for any dog or cat. Throughout the month of November, any pet owner can get their dog or cat vaccinated for free.
It can be a Rutherford County resident or any pet owner from anywhere. It's just free for any pet owners for cats and dogs. It's a distemper and parvo vaccine for dogs and the HCP vaccine for cats. Those are all vaccines that help prevent deadly diseases. You can bring your furry friend to PAWS, located off John Rice Boulevard in Murfreesboro, Monday through Friday and one Saturday a month. It doesn't matter how old your pet is, but it's best to get the shot when they're young. Definitely younger animals should get it because it affects younger animals while they're still developing. It's more high risk for younger animals, but it's a good vaccine for any animal to get. And we actually give you a card that lists not only schedules for vaccines like this that you should get, but other vaccines that are recommended. Make sure your pets are on a leash or in a carrier. If you don't have those items, leave your pet in the car and they will come to you. And if it's been a while since your pet has been vaccinated, they say it's safe to bring them in. If you think it's been a couple years or so, then it's completely safe to get the vaccine. So if you know you haven't done it within a year, you can definitely check with we always recommend checking with your regular veterinarian just to get their opinion on things, but normally it's pretty safe to go ahead and get it. The free vaccine schedule can be found on their website at paws.rutherfordcounty.gov. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. The MTSU Geosciences Department uses new state-of-the-art equipment to scan an unused area of Evergreen Cemetery for possible unmarked graves. Less than 1 mile from Oakland's mansion, ground-penetrating radar searches for possible forgotten graves of enslaved people from the Manny Plantation. This stretch of land at the Evergreen Cemetery, called Section M, isn't being used until they can determine what lies beneath.
They started digging one time and they started uncovering bodies, but they didn't know exactly where the bodies were located. So that's why they don't sell any plots here. So with this ground penetration equipment, we get to find out where the bodies are.
The Geosciences Department at MTSU is using new state-of-the-art equipment to hopefully locate these graves in Section M that began as a slave cemetery until the Manny family deeded it to the city of Murfreesboro.
The older the grave is, the harder it is to register. But what we'll use is some of these older graves here as a comparison, so that we'll see to match what we're seeing out here on the enslaved grave.
Finding records of these individuals is difficult because there are no photographs and many weren't counted in official records. But with the help of the community and several local organizations, little by little, we are discovering more.
When I started doing this, I've made the realization that there is a physical manifestation of people's humanities at grave sites. And I think on a whole, African American people don't have that. And so I'm honored to be able to provide this to them as a service.
As soon as the findings are in from this project, there are plans for a monument to honor the loved ones buried here and their contribution to our community. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. Because of the Doug Young Public Safety Training Center, new recruits for the Fire Rescue Department aren't required to have firefighting experience to be hired.
The Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department is always looking for motivated men and women to work for the department. You can enter into employment as a certified firefighter with experience or trainee without experience. Either way, the department will train you with expert leadership.
This is a recruit level trainee class that we have in. They have zero experience, and that's why we're here. We're here to take them from day zero all the way up through the 10-week class, which at the end of that they'll graduate from this program. They will have the same certifications as any state certified firefighter would that would go through our neighboring friends at Tennessee Fire and Codes Academy.
This training can also be attained at the Tennessee Fire Service and Codes Enforcement Academy in Deason, Tennessee.
Sometimes we have recruits that go through Tennessee Fire and Codes Academy in Deason, but this year we have found that we've had such a backlog of open positions that we decided to run our own recruit classes in conjunction with Tennessee Fire and Codes Academy, and it's worked out well for us.
The Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department are good neighbors by offering this training to nearby cities at no charge to them.
This recruit class, we have the City of Lebanon, the City of Hendersonville come in. They have worked with us before. We've had recruits from them. You know, the fire service is a community, and if we can help another department out, it's just like helping one of our own out. If we have openings that we can help fill and get some of their recruits trained up, then that's what we're absolutely glad to do. And we know that they would do the same for us. We've touched on ground ladders before, but today they're putting more than one skill together in conjunction with ground ladders. They're working on advancing hoses up and down the ladders. They're operating the nozzles into the building while working off of the ladder. There's certain techniques that they have to use by keeping at least 3 points of contact on their ladders, being able to lock in where they don't fall. There's more going on here than just what meets the eye. There's several skill sets involved with this. And this skill behind me, they are setting up a portable monitor. There are times on the fireground where we can't get a truck close enough and we'll have to lay hose to a certain point and it will throw a lot of water from that point. Captain David Sloan over there is going over that with them to show them how to put the unit together and how to stabilize it, make sure that it doesn't move. What tip sizes they use, different tip sizes can go on that piece of equipment, throws different amounts of water.
Those first 3 weeks were kind of us just getting acclimated to our gear. Some of us had never been in the fire service volunteer-wise or anything like that, so last week was probably our most challenging week with having hazmat awareness and ops and stuff like that. But everybody conquered it, and we are fighting and getting through these last few weeks of the academy.
We had people in our class, about half our class, as I said, they had zero experience stepping in here. They had never put on turnouts, anything like that. The test to actually apply to the department, it's a practical test, which they walk you through everything that you need to do. And then an interview, which is a common interview. You know, they're not asking specific, you're on a fire, you do this. It's tell us about yourself, weaknesses, you know, very general interview questions like that. So they heavily encourage everyone to apply. If you've ever thought about doing this and you've never, stepped foot on a fire truck, that's fine. They'll teach you how to do it, from step one.
All this training would not be able to happen if it wasn't for the state-of-the-art Doug Young Public Safety Training Center off of Bridge Avenue.
We've got buildings behind us that we're able to conduct live fire trainings in. This building, the training tower that we have, we're able to conduct live fire trainings in it. We can do rope rescue classes in it. We can do ventilation classes, fire control classes. With the exception of a pump class, and we're working on that, with the exception of a pump class, there's no kind of training hardly that we cannot do here at this facility. It's just invaluable.
So I'm a previous college athlete. I played baseball for 4 years. So I've always been into the physical type of work. Even going through school and stuff, that's what my background was in, was exercise science. Just me wanting to be a help to citizens and just wanting to help people. It's just my passion.
So I am the cliche kid. I was that one, this tall. I was watching the fire trucks as I went by. Never really wanted to do anything different. This is where I want to be, so I'm very happy to be here.
Area clergy were invited to ride along with MPD officers to get a better understanding of the community by working together.
Pastor Stephen Willis of the Calvary Baptist Church in Murfreesboro is normally in the pulpit, spreading the Word of God.
It was domestic day in the city of Murfreesboro.
But on this night, Pastor Willis is in unfamiliar territory, the Murfreesboro Police Department Midnight Shift Roll Call Room. Willis is a supporter of police and is taking part in the MPD's Cops and Clergy Ride-Along, which is part of the Faith in Blue Weekend, a national initiative that's engaging our community through partnership with faith-based organizations.
Just make sure everything's tip-top shape, ready for patrol. We're in Zone 1, which is kind of the downtown area.
His partner for the night?
We could have a quiet night, we could have a busy night.
Murfreesboro Police Department Officer Trey Smalley. Within minutes of starting the shift, the first call of the night, a possible drug overdose. Something Willis is all too familiar with.
I probably did 20 funerals for overdoses in the past 4 years.
Luckily, the woman is going to be okay.
Fortunately, it wasn't one of the common overdoses we've been seeing here, but they'll get her checked out.
Faith in Blue Weekend is stirring conversations that might otherwise go unheard.
Anything that we can do to facilitate conversations, for them to hear from me, just from a point of view as a pastor, how we can partner together. This is something I talk about with our church really almost every week, about the importance of for example, at our church we have 40 small groups, connect groups, and I encourage each one of those groups to be involved in some way in serving our city. So this will give me some ideas to take back to those groups, how they can support the local police department, but also maybe become aware of some needs our community has.
The Cops and Clergy Ride-Along is just one way MPD is helping to bridge the gap between the community and the police.
I think as many people that come do ride-alongs as possible be a positive thing for us. Try to get us, try to portray us in good light, and kind of see what we go through day to day, night to night.
The other part of the Cops and Clergy Ride-Along is to invite police officers to local worship services to share their experiences with members.
The officer is going to see a side of the city that most of our members aren't going to see, and maybe able to give some perspective as to how our members can serve in the local community, address certain community issues that maybe most people aren't going to see.
For Behind the Badge, I'm Larry Flowers.
Authors Night is a quarterly event that takes place at Bradley Academy Museum and Cultural Center. One of the highlighted authors this night was Murfreesboro resident C.A. Williams.
Again, thank you all for having me. My name is Christopher Williams. I write under the name C.A. Williams. Currently live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and been here ever since 2002. Graduated from MTSU with the major in entrepreneurship. But I'm here just to show you all my 2 books that I've written. The first book that I wrote was 6 years ago, titled Breaking the Ice, Being Social Without Social Media. And then my true love, which is poetry, I wrote this book, Different Sides, about 3 years ago. I actually had the idea of writing a book when social media started booming, and I just didn't move forward with it until a little bit later. But then I saw that it was just going in the wrong direction, and people say that I have a very good way on talking with people, so I decided to put my ideas in a book, again titled Breaking the Ice, Being Social Without Social Media. But my true love has always been poetry. And I realized that I was going to so many events, and people would ask me after I performed poetry, do you have a book? Where can I follow you? And because I really wasn't into social media, I figured, let me get a book, and deciding to put my poems together in a very unique way that wouldn't bore people and actually have some creative aspects and some surprise endings to each poem, I found have went very well over with the readers of the book. Some of the best authors that I think that I love in poetry is Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou. But when it comes to just writing and a good story, John Grisham, I just love his style and his topics. A favorite book is by Richard Wright, titled Black Boy. When I'm not writing, I love to travel, watch football, and I also coordinate an event titled Under One Roof. That is a quarterly event here in Murfreesboro that brings together musicians, poets, and comedians. It's a place for the 21 and up crowd, the adults, to just go and enjoy some live entertainment. I do have an upcoming project. I'll be doing the 3rd video from my book, Different Sides. Just taking those poems and putting a visual to them, I have found go very well when trying to advertise poetry as a whole.
We're doing something new this month. We're excited to share that we've partnered with PAWS of Rutherford County to bring you a pet of the month each month here on In the City. Our very first pet is an adorable 2-year-old lab mix named Max. Max is a pointer and Labrador Retriever mix who was found as a stray. PAWS tells us Max's motto is young, wild, and free. He would be great for someone who has an active lifestyle, who goes hiking, running, and other fun activities. Max loves to stay busy and have fun. Some of his favorite activities are dominating a treat puzzle toy, running in circles around the fence line, and playing fetch. Max is looking for a forever home that can keep him busy and give him lots of attention. He is current on all his vaccinations and already neutered. For more information on Max and many other awesome dogs and cats available for adoption, visit paws.rutherfordcountytn.gov. We want to say congratulations to Jernell Floyd Jenkins, the superintendent at Patterson Park. She recently received her doctorate from Trevecca Nazarene University. The latest winners of the City of Murfreesboro's STARS Awards were recognized by Mayor McFarland at a recent City Council meeting. STARS stands for Succeeding Through Attitudes Reflecting Service Excellence. The program is intended to recognize outstanding employees who go above and beyond in providing outstanding customer service. At a September council meeting, Bobby Leathers of the Information Technology Department, Bo Smith and Matthew Miles of the Parks and Recreation Department were presented with the award. In October, Frida Coldwell and Melissa Pettis of the Employee Services Department were honored with the award. Mayor Shane McFarland's first ever golf tournament is a success, raising money for the Kids Play Free program. Many people think golf is a game that not everyone has access to. Barriers like cost can keep some from playing. Murfreesboro Mayor Shane McFarland is doing his part to make sure any kid who wants to play has the opportunity.
I think for those of us who grew up playing golf, it's one of the best things that you can do. When you listen to someone like Tiger Woods speak, and he talks about how it gives you interpersonal skills, confidence, all these different things. We thought, especially with Bloomfield Links, our kids' course, that there was no better thing that we could do to raise a little money so kids in Murfreesboro can play free.
The inaugural Mayor's Invitational Golf Tournament raised money for the Tennessee Golf Foundation's Kids Play Free program here in Murfreesboro. This program is only the second in the state, and Mayor McFarland wants to make sure the word gets around and lots of kids come out to play.
What we want to be able to do is to show, even with the programs that we've been having during the summer, the junior PGA programs, we just want to let kids know, and really their parents know, that it's something you can come out and there's not a cost. There's really not a worry of what you wear or what you bring, but we just want you to come out and have fun and learn the game.
Murfreesboro native and Tennessee Golf Foundation President Whit Turnbow is passionate about making sure the game that's meant so much to him is accessible to any young person in our city.
That's really what is at our core. It's the opportunity for kids, young ladies, young boys to learn the game in an affordable and accessible manner. Those are the two barriers that we see most often, is they can't find it, they can't afford it. So our job every day is to try to knock those down, and that's one way we do that, is to knock the cost off. A young man or young lady that wants to learn to play here in Murfreesboro can do that absolutely free. They'll have equipment out at Bloomfield. If they don't have equipment, they'll have golf balls, they'll have everything they need.
This tournament raised over $50,000 for kids to play free golf here in Murfreesboro. For more information, visit oldfortgolfclub.com. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. The Rutherford County Health Department is now offering booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines to certain populations. For individuals who received a Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, the following groups are eligible for a booster shot at 6 months or more after they complete the initial series. 65 years and older, age 18 and older who live in long-term care settings, 18 and older who have underlying medical conditions, 18 and older who work or live in high-risk settings. For individuals 18 years and older who received the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, a booster dose is recommended at 2 or more months after the initial vaccine. Eligible individuals may choose which vaccine they receive as a booster dose. Rutherford County Health Department will offer COVID-19 vaccine booster doses Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the former State Farm Operations Center located at 2500 Memorial Boulevard. Street signs renaming Mercury Boulevard in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard have been installed. The renaming became official on October 13, 2021. The Planning Commission voted May 19, 2021 to rename Mercury Boulevard to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to recognize Dr. King's contributions to racial equity and to reflect the city's commitment to diversity. City of Murfreesboro administrators and elected officers gathered September 18th at Patterson Park Community Center to celebrate the unveiling of the new street signage for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. City Councilman Kurt Wade advocated the change to honor the civil rights leader in Murfreesboro. Remember, the City of Murfreesboro offices will be closed Thursday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. All city parks and recreation facilities will be closed. City golf courses will be open with normal hours. City of Murfreesboro offices, parks facilities, and golf courses will be closed Thursday, November 25th in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. City of Murfreesboro offices will be closed as well on Friday, November 26th, but city parks and recreation facilities and city golf courses will be open with normal hours. Thursday trash pickups for Veterans Day and Thanksgiving Day will be on Wednesday. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the City of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see any of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. Fall programs have started with Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation, including Halloween and Harvest Days. Here are some great pictures from Parks and Rec's award-winning photographer Jim Davis. I'm Michael Linn White, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.